Liminal Point is a new indie game inspired by Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and Signalis. So I seen this article and I went ahead and checked out a bit of the trailer that they had released for this, and it grabbed my interest for sure because obviously, me being a big Resident Evil fan, I really enjoy being able to see any games that kind of take inspiration from it. Silent Hill, honestly, I never got into the Silent Hill games. If I were to, I think I'd want to go back and play the original ones versus the remake that had just came out, just because that seems like it'd be more in like my wheelhouse of playing, just because I am more of like a old school gamer, and I don't mind that kind of fixed camera angles kind of playing. And then as far as Signalis goes, I've never played that one. I honestly never even heard of it. So that one might be one I need to look into and kind of just double check to see what it's about and what it's like. But as far as the trailer that was released, I enjoyed what I saw and the little bit that I did see of it. So I figured it was something worth doing a video on. So we'll go ahead and check out the article here, go through it really fast, and then we'll go ahead and check out the trailer that was dropped. So Hideworks has just announced a new survival horror game that is inspired by classic like Silent Hill and Resident Evil called Liminal Point. Liminal Point targets a 2026 release, and below you can find the debut gameplay trailer. Oh wow, so it's like actually going to be releasing next year. So I'm interested still. I'm curious as to when it actually is going to get released, if it is going to be one of those things like the beginning of 2026 or if it's going to be a little bit later. So in Liminal Point, a player will assume the role of Lyra. Lyra will return to Ashen Point Island where her band's story ended in tragedy. Players will confront deadly creatures, explore the desolate town, and reveal the truth behind the night that changed everything. So I feel like that's a pretty good story right there. She's going back to see what happened with her, I guess, her band. So let's see how that goes actually. The game will be using an isometric camera viewpoint with detailed environments and dynamic lighting. Moreover, it promises to have limited resources, tense encounters, and an atmosphere dripping with dread. Players will manage their limited inventory space carefully and rely on the map to plan their next move wisely as they navigate the fog shrouded island, the mansion, the hospital, or the sewers. So that's pretty cool right there. So we already got like what type of atmosphere we're going to be seeing. So the island, a mansion, like Resident Evil, a hospital, which I think that's going to be more in line with Silent Hill, and then the sewers, which kind of I feel like can kind of go back to Resident Evil when you think of like Resident Evil 2. Hideworks has also shared some preliminary PC requirements. According to the devs, you'll need at least an NVIDIA GeForce 1080 GTX or AMD Radeon 6870 HD to run it. Hideworks recommends an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070. The game will also support both the DX11 and DX12 APIs. So that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse right there. Like I've made many statements in the past. I'm not a PC gamer myself. So as far as what the requirements seems, if I feel like that's gonna actually be quite a bit you're gonna have, but I could be wrong. So if there is any PC gamers out there that could fill me in a little bit more, if the kind of graphics you would need for it would be a little bit much, or if it'd be like something kind of minuscule. So I personally like everything I see about this indie game, and yes, it does feel like a love letter to Silent Hill and Resident Evil. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is exactly the type of double A games I want. So please, more of these indie devs. Enjoy and stay tuned for more. So we'll go ahead and check out the trailer that we got here. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit, so we'll go ahead and get this. Then let's check out what we got.
Did you forget what happened on that night
Oh, I like the graphics so
in
far.
this city? Oh, but this place remembers.
See right there, I do kind of like the fact that it is kind of like a top down. It doesn't quite have the fixed camera angles as Resident Evil, just because of the fact that it does kind of move along with her. So that is a little bit different, but I am enjoying that like old school kind of way that it looks in that regard.
But this place
Kind of backs up.
remembers. And so do I. I'll be waiting in the place where
And then I do like that
hope
aspect of like the little, it looks like puzzles that they're kind of having. And then right here, obviously, this is kind of like a little bit, I like the fact that it does kind of have the inventory, kind of like old school Resident Evil. right here where you can kind of see it, but at the same time when you see the weapons you can switch between. It is kind of more of like kind of like Resident Evil 2, 3 remake, and then 4. So I think that's actually pretty cool right there.
To ash. So come and find me.
And then this I liked as well when it showed the inventory as well as like the health, because this definitely reminds me of Resident Evil when you see the character's face and then the kind of like the little I can't remember the name of it, the medical thing whenever you see like the health going up and down. So I think that's cool. And then obviously right here, that type of inventory that you have. Then again, this looks more of like modern day Resident Evil for like Resident Evil 2 remake and 3, where you kind of hold your inventory, as opposed to like old school Resident Evil where it should just be like little slots would go into each one of these. So that is one of the things I really like and I do appreciate, because of the fact that with today's day and age, with everything that we have, the information as to what really works for these types of games, I like the fact that they are kind of going old school with it, while at the same time kind of doing some new innovative stuff that you'd see in like modern games for like Resident Evil and stuff like that. I think that's cool. Liminal Point. Wishlist now on Steam. So yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. That does kind of suck though that like it stated that it is going to be coming out in 2026. So we are going to have a whole nother year that we're going to have to pretty much wait in order for anything to come out. But as far as what we got in this little trailer so far, I think it looks cool, and I do really appreciate the fact that it does kind of go back to kind of like the Resident Evil roots and everything like that. Obviously, there is some Silent Hill kind of uh things that they had kind of taken inspiration from and everything like that. But at the same time, like I've stated, I never actually played Silent Hill, the old school ones or the newer one. So I don't know how much of it is actually taking away from that. So for anyone out there that's watching that is fans of those games, I'm sure there's some stuff that you can kind of recognize that would be similar. So yeah, I think this looks pretty cool, and I'm interested to see what else they're going to be seeing in the future when it comes down to this game. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Does this look like something you guys would be picking up and playing yourselves? And if you guys can just let me know in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.